Hey everybody, welcome to the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and this is a little bit of a special video here celebrating the release of Modern Masters 2015. I was at my local game store, the Gamers Emporium, and I drafted Modern Masters 15. I'll be drafting it online, of course, but I drafted it here, and I just wanted to go over my picks and just sort of do something a little bit different than we usually have on this channel. So this pack I ripped on open. The first thing, of course, I went to the rare, and it was Splinter Twin. Splinter Twin was like 16 bucks at the time, and I was pretty happy to see that. I kind of assumed that was the card that I would take just to sort of, pay for a little bit of my draft at least. This pack also had some good stuff. There was an Arrest in there. Arrest is pretty darn solid. I looked through the rest of the pack. There wasn't too much in here. I kind of wanted to go blue-white artifacts or black-white spirits. There was an Ulamog's Crusher as well. But, I just had to take that money card, that Splinter Twin. Pack 2 got passed to me, and I took a look through it. Saw not too much right from the get-go. Not happy with these. Court Homunculus, of course, in the blue-white artifact deck. Sign in Blood's okay. There's a bounce land. Yeah, I wasn't seeing too much. And then I saw the Electrolyze. And I said, hey, I like Electrolyze. And it was a couple dollars. I first picked a red card. I figured maybe a blue-red card would be fine. And a totally fine piece of removal. There was also a Burst Lightning and a Repeal. And I kind of thought about which of those cards I would want as well. Burst Lightning, keeps me red. It doesn't push me into blue at all. Repeal, just a really, really solid, good blue card. But then also Electrolyze sitting there. Ultimately, I think value kind of won out, and I decided on the Electrolyze here. So the next pack got passed my way, and there was a nice little Frogmite on top, but then I saw this Spectral Procession, and it got pulled to the front of the pack here. Looking through, there wasn't too much going on, really. There's a couple of Black-White Spirits, a Stoic Rebuttal, some more Spirit stuff, a Dispatch, and I think that might have been the foil one, possibly. And I saw a Dispatch, and I love Dispatch in the blue-white artifact archetype, but I had taken 2 red cards, so, I had to read Tribal Flames there, and this pack kind of threw me for a loop because I had taken 2 cards that pushed me down the red route, and I didn't know which way I wanted to go. Now, luckily, this draft was no prizes. It was just draft what you keep. So I saw the Spectral Procession. I said, you know what? I wanted to do Black-White Spirits when I got in here. Spectral Procession is a fantastic card to throw into the Spirit deck, and there's some more Spirits that I might wheel here. So that Spectral Procession that I pushed to the front kind of stayed at the front, and that was my pick for that pack. And the next pack was here already, and I pumped into this pack and had to read some of these cards. I hadn't necessarily seen all of them before. We got some red stuff here at the front, some green stuff, a Sign in Blood, hey, a Gust Skimmer, and then that got shoved to the front. The Blinding Soul Eater, a solid card for the blue-white artifacts deck, even though I haven't taken anything yet for the blue-white artifacts deck, but it was something that certainly pushed me down there. There was also a Raise the Alarm. There was an Aether Snipe that I would have loved in the blue-white artifact deck, but I mean, Blinding Soul Eater, just so powerful. The basically unconditional tapping, yeah, it was a tough decision, and especially since I had started waffling so much on these picks, and I went back and forth, I took a look at my cards, tried to remind myself of what I had taken, and I said, you know what, this draft is for fun. I can kind of go whichever archetype is coming my way, and I guess right now, the blue-white artifacts deck is coming my way, possibly, and Spectral Procession fits in that one anyways, so I took that Blinding Soul Eater, and was pretty happy with it. So the next pack arrived, and I took a look, and there was a Steady Progress and a Bone Splinters that for some reason I don't remember even seeing. I don't know why I didn't give it a second glance. Thief of Hope that I thought about for a second, and then I saw Hurkyl's Recall. That's a $4 or $5 card, and more importantly, a good one, and more importantly than that, one I really, really, really wanted for my cube. So, I snap took that, and it may have had a place in or against Blue-White Affinity, so I was pretty happy with that pick as well. So the next pack showed up, and there was a Goblin Fireslinger and a Cumulox, which I pushed to the front right away, because, hey, I just took a Blinding Soul Eater not too long ago. Maybe I do end up Blue-White Heroic. Some other cards that I took a look at, there was a Repeal. I do like Repeal. A Gnarled Pack, another Raise the Alarm, another Frogmite. Cumulox just kind of stayed sitting on there. I took a look at my cards and saw that I was really going 3 different directions so far. I'd taken something for blue-white artifacts, something for black-white spirits, and a couple of things for, I don't even know, red splinter twin, a deck that I don't think exists. But I decided to take the Cumulux and started down the blue-white artifacts route a little bit more. So the next pack came around, and there was a Cloud Elemental I thought about a little bit, a couple black cards that I skipped over pretty fast. I'm not sure why. Culling Deus, I figured, well, may as well take bad artifacts now if I'm going to go down that blue-white route. Took one more look. That red Dragon Rider dude actually did beat me in a game, and I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I took that Culling Deus. Not the best card, but hey, you need artifacts for blue-white artifacts. So next pick time, we've got a Rapid Flames, a Root Ally Kin, some green cards that I pretty quickly skipped over, a Fortify, a Phalanx, and a Pillar of the Sleepless. And I saw these go around a ton. I don't know if people weren't playing black-white or if people just misunderstood how powerful this card is. You know, black-white was one of the archetypes that I wanted to try in this format, and I was solidly white. So I took a little bit of an audible here back into black-white with Pillar of the Sleepless. Next pack, we've got a Fiery Fall, some green cards, Darksteel Citadel that I pushed to the front because, hey, blue-white artifacts, and an artifact, Copper Carapace. Flipping through the cards, and then back of the pack, Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag is something I love doing. A single mana, instant speed bounce, plus you get to ping your opponent to the face for 1. Sign me up. That is exactly what I love doing in draft, and this kind of pushed me towards blue-white artifacts for sure, I think. So the next pack came around, and there wasn't that much in there. There was a Nest Invader, which is great, a Burst Lightning, which is great, a red-white bounce land, which is great, but the only blue, white, or black card was Wings of Vela's Vel, which I don't really like. I guess there was a black card back there, actually, but I just took the blue card. I was pretty sold on blue-white artifacts around this point. Next pack time, things are still dropping off a little bit. We've got a Black Spirit here, and then a whole bunch of red, plus a Plummet. I was solidly far away from red-green at this point. I mean, I did have the Splinter Twin and the Electrolyze, but red was kind of just not my thing. So I took a look at this, and I was trying to figure out what to take, if I should make another Audible, if I should stick on the blue-white plan, and I just took the Black Spirit, because I figured, hey, that's kind of my backup plan, so I took that, but that was definitely a pack that just flat out was not for us. Next pack, things didn't look too bad. There was a Raise the Alarm right on top, and nothing else in the pack for me, so easy pick here with Raise the Alarm. And then I got past this pack, which was a little bit stacked in red. There was a Goblin Warpaint on Compust. Gutshot was the pick for me here. It seemed to be really undervalued at the table, and I was surprised to take it that late. 2 picks left. One's a Raise the Alarm. Yes, please. Absolutely going to take it. And then we got ourselves a last pick, Goblin Warpaint there. Not all that exciting. Or actually, it wasn't a Goblin Warpaint. It was a Tribal Flames, I believe, in the back there. But yeah, no, a meaningless last pick. So after pack 1, I was feeling fairly okay. You know, we had started to push into blue-white artifacts. Black-white spirits didn't really seem to be happening, and my first pick, Splinter Twin, was not happening either. So I was kind of okay to start going down the blue-white artifacts pretty heavily. So pack 2, pick 1 time here. I'm feeling the foil Tarmogoyf. I'm feeling it. And I can tell you there was one opened in the store while I was here. But it wasn't in this pack. I flipped to the back, and there's a Mirran Crusader, which, you know, it's not explicitly a blue-white artifacts card, but it's a every single white deck ever card. Flipping through the pack, there was a Nameless Inversion, there was a Blood Ochre, a Court Homunculus I'd like to see back around, an Alloy Mirror I wouldn't mind seeing back around, maybe even a Darksteel Citadel, but, you know, nothing compares to that Mirran Crusader. It's just a solid card and a snap pick for me. So pack 2, pick 2 comes our way, and I'm looking at it, and there's a whole bunch of green. There's a Copper Carapace, I suppose, but nothing really my way. So I actually pushed this Nameless Inversion to the front because maybe I go black-white again. But then, hey, a Foil Arrest, absolutely going in my deck. Totally going to play it. I'm very solidly white at this point. Pretty certain I'm blue-white. Maybe I could go black-white still, but I was certainly white, I would think, at this point. And getting the Arrest was just fantastic. Next pick time, I'm taking a look. We've got a Sigil Blessing, a Wrap in Flames, hey, a Somber Hover Guard, a 3/2 flyer with affinity for artifacts, which I was happy to see, and a Stoic Rebuttal. Stoic Rebuttal in the blue-white artifacts deck is almost always just Counterspell, which is solid. I took a look at these. I kind of hemmed and hawed between them, and I started to realize I was probably a little bit light on creatures, so I just took the Hover Guard. Next pack comes around, we take a look at what we got, and we've got a Changeling, a Grafter, a Kavu Primarch, which is pretty good, a Kite Sail, which I thought about, Spike Shot Elder, which I was surprised to see, and kind of solidified there wasn't much red going around, and then a Mana Leak on the back, and I'm a sucker for Mana Leak, you know. It's my channel name. I gotta take it. Plus, it's just a really good card. I'm a big fan of Mana Leak in Draft. I love the turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 Mana Leak hitting something that really slows your opponent down. So the next pack comes around, and there's this Dragon Rider guy again, and another Kavu Primarch, and a Rune Servitor, and hey, you know, that fits my deck. And a Mortipod. I love Mortipod, just being able to ping creatures, being able to get, ideally, some Exit the Battlefield effects, things like that off of it. Pretty solid pick. I see another of these Pillar of the Sleepless, and I think I actually commented to the table at that time that I think people were undervaluing them. So I looked at Mortipod, I looked at Rune Servitor, and I hemmed and hawed. I again worried about how many creatures I had and if I had enough, but I took the Mortipod. It's non-common, I wasn't going to see it as regularly. Ultimately, I was pretty happy with that pick.
So I'm not sure what happened with my video. I seem to missed a pick, I think. But now into the next pack, we've got ourselves some red stuff, some black stuff. And hey, a Court Homunculus. I love those guys. They fit so well into blue-white artifacts, so I pretty much snap took him. Yeah, and in taking a look at my cards here in the back, I've noticed that I apparently missed the picks of Mirror Enforcer, Everflowing Chalice, and a Frogmite, actually. I'm not sure if it was my video editing software, my camera, my SD card, what it was, but I seem to have missed those picks. But that brings us to our next pack. We've got a Sign in Blood, a Mighty Leap, a Combust, a Copper Carapace, a Plummet, and an Overwhelm. Copper Carapace is really the only thing that goes in my deck. It's an artifact, and I guess I could equip it to something. I considered Mighty Leap briefly, but I'm not really in the Mighty Leap deck, so I just took the Copper Carapace. Next pack arrives, and there's not too much really going on in it. We've got a whole bunch of red yet again, and the only blue card's a Helium Squirter, and it's an okay card. It's much more meant for blue-green, but yeah, why not? May as well take it. Next pack rolled around, and there wasn't much really here for me. There was a Kite Sail if I wanted it, a second Culling Dais, Steady Progress, a Changeling that I would have loved in the Black White Spirits deck, but ultimately I just sort of waffled between the two artifacts and decided, no, I'll just go with the Steady Progress. Maybe I can get some counters on the Culling Dais or the Everflowing Chalice. On to the next pack. Well, there's just garbage here. Absolutely nothing for me. A Death Denied, a something, and a something. Yeah, so I just went with the Death Denied, I figured. We're in the trash cards now. We've got a Mighty Leap and a green card. Well, I'm not going to play the green card. I may play the Mighty Leap. And another last pick, Tribal Flames. I believe that was my last pick in pack 1 as well. Pack 2 went pretty well. We got that Mirror Crusader. We got some affinity guys. We missed a few of the really good artifacts, unfortunately, due to my video editing. But it was time for pack 3. So we rip on open pack 3, and we hope for that foil Tarmogoyf for foil anything, or anything, really. And we go to the back, and we've got a foil Uncommon Spirit and a Mystic Snake. I knew Mystic Snake was good. I actually briefly asked the shop owner sitting beside me here how much it would cost, because I wasn't familiar with the cost. I felt it was a few dollars, and it was a few dollars, so I was fairly okay with that, I guess. Looking through the rest of the pack, there wasn't much. There was a couple of color hosers. Both of them I could have used. There was a Telling Time. There wasn't much for me here, really. There was an Otherworldly Journey that I pushed to the front, but that didn't feel like a good first pick. Yeah, I was really at a loss for this pack. I just feel like it was not a pack for me. Maybe I should have taken the Celestial Purge. It would have been a pretty solid sideboard card, but felt like a really gross first pick. I briefly considered splashing for the Mystic Snake. I'd only need a single green source. I thought about casting this Spirit as a triple white spell, but that seemed a little bit difficult. So Ultimately, I went for the very low money draft and just took the Mystic Snake. Pack 3, pick 2, we've got ourselves less Mystic Snake. Rapid Flames, I've seen so many of those. Sphere of the Suns that I thought about, and then a couple of really good uncommons value-wise, an Eldrazi Temple and a Lightning Bolt. I briefly thought about just money drafting uncommons, and then I saw a Thoughtcast, and it was a foil Thoughtcast, which I believe is worth more than those uncommons, and goes straight into my blue-white artifacts draft deck. So it got moved to the front for sure. Again, just flipping through the cards, Sphere of Sun seemed interesting. I again thought about those two value uncommons, but ultimately I wanted a more consistent deck, and I have so many Lightning Bolts just kicking around anyways. I briefly took a look at this guy here. There's a Stoic Rebuttal that I thought about, but yeah, just taking the Thoughtcast. Next pack time, we've got a Grim Affliction on top, solid card. Then an Etherscape Knight that I was pretty happy to see. Another Hover Guard would have been nice. There was a Rusted Relic as well, plus a Water Servant, but Etherscale Knight, that artifact creature, 2-drop for a 1/3 with Exalted. Yeah, I had to have it. Next pack had an Apostle's Blessing, a Mirror Enforcer, this Repeal that I moved to the front right away, another Rune Servitor, a Banefire, you know, some good stuff, but as I said, I love bouncing things. I love bouncing things at instant speed, and hey, Repeal even draws me a card for the low cost of having to pay the CMC of whatever I'm bouncing. Totally fine with that. Next pack comes along with another Apostle's Blessing on top, some more green stuff, some more green-white stuff, and hey, a Court Homunculus. I love these guys. I love these guys in multiples especially. Not much. Back of the pack we get an Ally Mirror and a Darksteel Citadel. I'd already picked up an Ally Mirror at this point, I believe. Darksteel Citadel I hadn't, but I didn't terribly want them, although they would have been nice to have. But Court Homunculus, I just can't get past a 2/2 for 1. Next pack comes along, and it's got not too much going on in it for me. There's a Sunspear dude. There's a Thoughtcast, you know, it's totally fine, and an Etched Oracle at the back. If I stay just blue-white, the Etched Oracle is going to be at best a 2/2. I have, at this point, I believe, already taken 2 Thoughtcasts, so it's a little bit unsure of what to do here. I wasn't sure if maybe I could still pick up some bounce lands to kind of push that Etched Oracle into 3/3 territory or 4/4 territory. You know, so I pushed the Thoughtcast to the front, and ultimately did end up taking it. I believe that actually was my second Thoughtcast. Next pack, we're starting to get a little bit more wheat. We've got an Ally Mirror on top, which is fine. Another Bone Splinters, which I'm not sure why I wasn't looking closer at those earlier in the draft. But, I mean, ultimately, the Ally Mirror was the only thing here for us. Starting to get towards the end here, not too much going on. Another really late Burst Lightning, a Rune Servitor, and hey, a Vapor Snag, which got moved to the front and to the pile pretty darn quickly. So at this point, my packs come back around. There's that Dragon Rider dude, and there's both the color hosers that I could have played, the Flash Freeze and the Celestial Purge, and another Otherworldly Journey that I take one more look at, but still don't pick. So I hemmed and hawed between, did I want to counter a specific color spell, or did I want to exile a permanent, and I figured exiling a permanent was probably a little bit better, so I took the Celestial Purge. So next up, we've got a Stoic Rebuttal on top, which I'm pretty happy to see. Cameo of Ancient Law, Thrumming Bird. I've been looking at these Stoic Rebuttals the whole draft. I want one, and that's the one I finally get. So we're getting into the dregs here, but somehow a Somber Hoverguard has made its way all the way around to me. I'm totally happy to see these flying Affinity for Artifact guys this late, so I gladly took it. Next pack, we're down to much of nothing here, really. We've got a Rune Servitor, we've got an Apostle Blessing. I took another Rune Servitor. Why not? Almost done. We've got an Apostle Blessing or a Baku. I figured, well, I've passed enough of these Apostles' Blessings, and they're a fairly solid card. I'm fairly happy with it. I'll finally take this one, though. There's finally nothing else in the pack. Last 2 picks, we take a look, and nothing for us. We'll take the Lacerator, I guess. Yeah, probably not going to get an awesome last pick, right? Probably nothing totally playable, but we'll see. Then in comes our last card. We take a look, and hey, it's a green-white bounce land last pick. Ultimately, I probably should have played that card. I think it would have allowed me to splash for the Mystic Snake, but oh well.
So yeah, this is what the deck looked like. A couple court homunculi were very nice to have. A good number of 2-drops, especially creatures with that Etherscape Knight. Stoic Rebuttal, Mana Leak, Vapor Snag definitely helped out. Thoughtcast helped me get some stuff going. And Somber Hoverguard and Cumulox were what closed the game out for me all the time. They came out pretty quick. I had some really, really fast matches. So how did I do? Well, I wasn't feeling super confident in my deck really when I first laid it out there on my playmat, but I ended up doing fairly well. Match 1 I was up against blue-red elementals. Luckily my opponent hadn't realized the power of that elemental that you can tap for 2 mana. I can't think of it offhand. Smoke Binder or Smoke Teller or something like that. But I managed to take that match down pretty handily. Match 2 I was up against 5-color good stuff. And there was some good stuff. It turns out when you're playing 5 colors, those Dragon Rider dudes can be pretty good. Etched Monstrosity can be really, really good. That match went to 3, but I took it down again. And then in the finals up against red... wasn't it red? No, sorry, it was black-green. Sort of ramp into Ulamog's Crusher with Necrogenesis with a whole bunch of counter guys. It was a really tough match, but I did pull that out in 3 as well, including a very close match 1 where I mulled to 4 and pulled it off thanks to the power of Affinity. And in the last game, I kept a 1-lander, was stuck on 1 land for a few turns and still managed to pull it off again through the power of Affinity. It's clear why that sort of broke standard when it came out, and a lot of stuff is banned these days. But ultimately, Modern Masters was a really fun format. I really enjoyed the draft, even though almost everybody else opened up much more expensive stuff than I did. I had fun, and hey, I won the draft, so there's always that. There were no prizes, unfortunately, but bragging rights is enough for me. I'm definitely looking forward to drafting this online. It's going to cost an arm and a leg, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you guys and also clearly for myself as well, but it's going to be fun, so stay tuned for that. Definitely let me know if you like this video. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing sort of in-store recordings, but I may try to fit some more in here or there, especially if you guys like them. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments below. You can also find me on Twitter at The Mana Leak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/TheManaLeak. You've already found me here on YouTube. If you like the videos, you should click those little thumbs up icons to keep my videos rising through the ranks. And also subscribe to my channel. There's a button below each video and in the outro of each video. That's going to keep you up to date on all the latest Wacky Wednesdays, Spiky Saturdays, Crack-a-Pack Tuesdays, Crack-a-Pack specials, and all these special videos that pop up here or there on no specific schedule. So make sure you're the first to see those. As always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.